It all began back in 1969, the franchise of the Kansas City Royals. Developing with startling quickness, the Royals won 5 division titles and a pennant in 16 short years. In 1985, the Royals added the crowning touch. Finally experiencing, after coming so close before, the joy of a world championship title and the thrill of it all. March 1985, and the defending American League Western Division champs are gathered in Fort Myers, Florida, taking steps to make sure they can find a way to get a leg up on the coming campaign. Everything is rounded into shape, including that valuable asset, a sense of humor.
What are you doing? Trying to make me look bad on camera? I could have had it if I wanted to.
Loose and in excellent shape, both physically and mentally, the Royals broke camp not knowing what to expect, but as always, hopeful and feeling capable of the best. But sometimes things don't go according to the script. Rather than tearing through the early months of the season, manager Dick Hauser's Royals struggled, playing barely better than .500 ball. The cruelest month of all was June, as the Royals went an unregal 12-14 and had to endure the doubts and uncertainties that always seem to come in the hardest and most trying times.
Well, it seems like I've been playing your game way too long. And it seems the game I've played has made you strong. But when the game is over, I won't walk out losing. Yeah, I know that I'll walk out of here again. Yeah, I know someday I'll walk out of here again. But now I'm trapped. Ooh, yeah. Trapped. Ooh, yeah. Trapped. Ooh, yeah. Trapped.
Trapped by the ups and downs of inconsistent play, the Royals were in danger of letting things get out of hand, locked as they were in the middle of the Western Division pack. Just beyond the halfway point of the season, the team stood 7.5 games off the pace. But on July 22nd, a clean sweep began as the club started playing ball the Royals' way. And with plenty of smarts, good pitching, and a little bit of muscle, things started to click. It was no coincidence that Hal McRae's return to the lineup on July 22nd as the everyday DH was also the beginning of a 7-game win streak. McRae's run production and leadership were invaluable as he and his teammates started to punish the opposition.
Oh, no! That was going again. Holy cow!
Near the end of July, things were looking up as the team climbed 2 notches in the standings, now 2.5 games behind California. Despite injuries in August, the Royals kept rolling, establishing themselves as a never-say-die team that could come back in the late innings time after time.
Down in the center field for a base hit. That's the game. Ground ball left side. Campbell's coming home. Safe. Royals win the ball game. Pops it up. Now, watch out. Drops the ball. Lively scores. And the Royals win it. Outfield straight away. The pitch to Wathan. Runner goes. Swung on. Line drive. Base hit. Household will have to cut it off. They're going to try to score him. Here's the throw to the plate. It's way off the mark. Cooper's relay. Drop. And the ball game is over. Kansas City wins it.
Over the final third of the season, the dominant Royal force was pitching. Right-hander Mark Gubazov provided a big boost, going 13-6 from June till the end of the year, including 4 straight wins in a crucial period from late August to early September. Another lift came from the remarkable return of Dennis Leonard, who battled back from a devastating knee injury more than 2 years before. It had been an injury that would have ended most careers, but his courageous comeback was just another example of a Royal not knowing how to quit. It was perfect timing on September 6th as Leonard's return in relief helped the Royals rise another important notch.
There's a bouncing ball. That should end it. Concepcion fields and throws, and the Royals move into first place.
Playing with class and inspiration, the Royals' first place goal had been reached, and everyone knew who the driving force really was. George Brett, a man for whom superlatives never seem to be enough. Beginning the year in excellent shape, Brett went on to have a great season, leading the league in slugging, finishing second in hitting, and among the top 5 in doubles, runs, and RBIs. Simply put, there wasn't another player a team could rely on more, as Brett excelled both at bat and in the field with Gold Glove form. Now, the pressures of superstardom can be overwhelming, but no one ever said it was easy being the best.
Try to be best, 'cause you're only a man, and a man's got to learn to take it. Try to believe, though the going gets rough, that you gotta hang tough to make it. History repeats itself, try and you succeed. Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dream. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. And nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Fight to the end, 'cause your life will depend on the strength that you have inside you. I gotta be proud, standing out in the crowd when the odds in the game defy you. Try your best to win them all, and one day time will tell. When you're the one left standing there, you've reached the final bell. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
More strength came from powerful Steve Balboni, who began the year as the Royals' Player of the Month in April, and went on from there to rewrite a club record with 36 home runs, leaving no doubt that Big Steve stood as one of the game's premier sluggers. The arrival in early May of Lonnie Smith in Kansas City added speed to the lineup and clutch hitting down the stretch, as Smith batted .318 in September, a contribution that was absolutely vital to the Royals' pennant hopes. Behind the plate, catcher Jim Sundberg, another new face, provided stability, fine defensive skills, and valuable experience to handle a talented but young pitching staff.
Well, I think it's important that the catcher makes the pitcher feel comfortable, and I think that's where a catcher fits in. Plus the fact he has some knowledge that he can pass on to the pitchers on how to pitch guys. I feel like I've done that. I feel good about that. I have a lot to work with. Very talented group.
That group included 24-year-old Danny Jackson. In just his first full season, Jackson won 14 games and the respect of hitters throughout the league as his pitching skills grew sharper and sharper. Another key was Charlie Leibrandt, who had his finest year in the majors, posting a 17-9 record and a 2.48 ERA, second best in the league. And it's indicative of the kind of season Leibrandt really had to know that he was American League Pitcher of the Month in both April and September. But the king of the hill last year was Brett Saberhagen, all 21 years of age. After a slow start, Brett won 18 of his next 21 decisions, ending the year with 20 wins, a 2.87 ERA, and a much-deserved Cy Young Award to his credit. The team leader in victories, complete games, and strikeouts, Brett Saberhagen was Kansas City's #1 kid.
How do you like him so far? How do you like his show? How do you like the way he rocks and the way he goes?
is the best pitcher in the American League this year. He's beaten the good clubs, 21 years old, and to be able to pitch and have the command of pitches and the poise that he does, there are a lot of good pitchers in this league. This year, Brett Saberhagen's the best.
Young Brett Saberhagen was the crown jewel of a glittering Royals pitching staff. He, along with Charlie Lee Brandt, Danny Jackson, Mark Gubicza, and Bud Black, helped Kansas City climb to a 3-game lead by September 14th. But just as everything was going so well, the Royals inexplicably fell short, losing 10 of their next 15 games. And as trouble mounted, there was distressing news from the West Coast, as the California Angels were mounting a late-season charge. Soon, the Royals were in second place, a game behind California. But on September 30th, showdown time, a 4-game series between the Angels and Royals.
It's right down to where I thought it would be coming out of spring training. It's a do-or-die situation. We expected to be here.
Everybody's physically sound and ready to go.
There's always pressure.
You don't like this, you don't like baseball, you don't like life.
This is an organization that's used to winning. We've proved that this year.
In the opener against California, the way was led by George Brett, who chimed in with his 26th home run. George was in the midst of a 5-homer in 6 days tear. Another blast came from Jim Sundberg, his 10th of the season. With the Royals up 3-1, the ace was in control. Brett Saberhagen taking it to the Angels all night long, and now on the verge of a major milestone.
0-2. Strike 3 call. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, and Saberhagen not only wins his 20th, but he puts the Kansas City Royals back into a dead-even tie with the Angels in the Western Division of the American League.
A piece of first place for the Royals and win number 20 for Brett Saberhagen. Though the next night in a 4-2 loss, the ball didn't bounce Kansas City's way. But in Game 3, Brett ripped loose.
Hit up the right field line. Benitez won't get there, and 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Brett might score. He's going to try. Here's the relay throw from Gretsch. Safe!
While Brett took care of the base paths, the pitching mound belonged to left-hander Bud Black, who delivered his best outing of the year, a 3-hit shutout.
Broken bat, bouncer to Brett. That should do it. Long throw across to the Royals win. The race is even once more in the West, and what a wild, wild chase it's been.
In the 4th and final game of the series, Angel veteran Don Sutton took a beating, thanks to some power from Frank White, who belted his career-high 22nd home run, and Steve Balboni, whose blast helped say bye-bye to the Angels. On in relief of Danny Jackson, protecting a 4-0 lead is Dan Quisenberry, working on his 36th save.
And Kansas City wins it. And they take 3 out of 4 in the 4-game series. And they go into first in the West by a game over the Angels, who head to Texas for the final 3 of the year against the Rangers. Oakland comes in here to start a 3-game weekend series against Kansas City tomorrow night.
On came the Oakland A's as the Royals fine-tuned their division plans. On October 4th, Mark Gubicza beat the A's 4-2. Now Kansas City was 1 game away from clinching the title. The next night, the Royals battled back from a 4-run deficit as Willie Wilson looked for a big hit in the bottom of the 10th.
The 1-0 pitch. Lined off the glove of the pitcher. Base hit. The Royals have won it. It's over. And a mob scene on the field. The Royals are Western Division champions again.
Coming back all year long, the Royals now claim their 6th Western Division title in the past 10 years. But the long-anticipated thrill of it all was only just beginning. So it was on to Canada and the Toronto Blue Jays. This was the first year of the 7-game championship series format, and how fortunate that seemed as the Jays flew out to 2 straight wins at home. But in Game 3, who else but George Brett would show the way back? That night, Brett went 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 3 runs batted in, a record-shattering performance. Throwing shutout ball over the final 4 1/3 innings, Steve Farr held on to a 6-5 win. Though Toronto still led 2-1, this was a victory to be savored, especially by manager Dick Hauser, For the skipper, it was his first win in 12 postseason tries. Game 4 brought a heartbreaking loss, but the real heart of Royals baseball kept beating. Danny Jackson was brilliant with Kansas City one step away from the end in Game 5. Jackson pitched an 8-hit shutout and kept the dream alive as the playoffs switched back to Toronto, with the Jays still up 3-2. In Game 6, Buddy Biancalana stepped to the fore, and always knowing how to pick his spots, Buddy lashed out this 6th-inning double that scored the go-ahead run. Later in the 9th, Dan Quisenberry finished up.
Got him! The quiz comes through, and there will be a final game.
In that final game, Toronto called on Dave Steed, while Charlie Leibrandt came on after Saberhagen injured his pitching hand in the 3rd, and Leibrandt was absolutely masterful. In the 6th inning, the Royals led 2-1 with Jim Sundberg at the plate, the bases loaded, and 2 out. Sundberg missed a grand slam by inches, but the ball fell for a triple, driving home 3 big runs. And finally in the 9th, it's 6-2 Kansas City.
And this may do it for the Royals. For the 2nd time in their history, they're on their way to the World Series.
A thrilling comeback indeed, but oh, what lay ahead. The Royals were on the road to the I-70 World Series, taking on their cross-state rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. The focus was on the nation's heartland, and in this Show Me State showdown, there was no Missouri compromise in the offing. In Game 1 at Royals Stadium, the Cardinals ace John Tudor was sharp, with the St. Louis defense led by Terry Pendleton performing at its peak. Nipping a couple of Royal opportunities, the Cardinals took the opener 3-1. In Game 2, hard-luck Charlie Leibrandt pitched 8 shutout innings, but then had to endure a Cardinal winning rally in the 9th. No team had ever lost the first 2 games at home and gone on to win the series. Before Game 3, the Cardinals might have thought they were on a roll, but 1-run, 6-hit pitching from the imposing figure of Brett Saberhagen would give them another idea. While Saberhagen held the Cardinals in check, Frank White, batting cleanup, led the attack with a homer, double, and 3 runs batted in as the Royals pounded out 11 hits and 6 runs. Saberhagen went the distance, and Kansas City enjoyed the thrill of its first victory in the '85 series, putting it to the Cardinals in decisive fashion. In Game 4, National League batting champion Willie McGee teamed up with Tito Landrum for solo home runs in support of John Tudor, whose shutout put the Cardinals just 1 victory away from the World Series title. No strangers to being on the brink, the Royals fought back fiercely, with George Brett literally going all out in Game 5. Buddy Biancalana once again rose to the occasion with 2 key hits as the Royals jumped out to a 4-0 lead after 2 innings, a sight altogether upsetting to anyone wearing red. But the real hero was Danny Jackson, who yielded only a single run and made sure the series would be taking a return trip back home to Kansas City. As good as it was to be back at Royal Stadium, there was still no disguising the fact that the Cardinals need just 1 more win for the title. Game 6 proved to be a dramatic thriller, scoreless through 7, with St. Louis managing to scratch out a crucial 1-0 lead in the 8th. In the 9th inning, 3 outs away from the title, Whitey Herzog brought on Todd Worrell as the Royals danced along the edge of elimination. George Orta led the inning off with this roller. Worrell covers, and Orta safe at first. On that play, the momentum shifts. The winds of fate take over. Balboni's pop foul can't be handled by Porter or Clark, and a base hit follows. Soon Dane Orge pinch hits with the bases loaded, 1 out, the entire season on the line. One run is in to tie, and another is speeding home. The Royals win. What a magnificent comeback. The miracle of Kansas City. Yes, there will be a seventh game. Six months of baseball all down to a final game, and what a finale. Darryl Motley tees off in the second inning, and from there the Royals demolish a parade of St. Louis pitching, turning Game 7 into a rout. "11 runs in all, 10 more than Brett Saberhagen needs this night as the soon-to-be-named MVP of the series puts on the finishing touch. The Kansas City Royals are the world champions of baseball. A franchise built on patience and integrity gets its ultimate reward. In a year of fulfillment, the achievements are many. Among the numerous postseason honors, certainly one of the most deserved is the Executive of the Year award, given to General Manager John Schuerholz. To the victors belongs the glory, and to Royals fans everywhere, a chance to share in the thrill of it all.